So you remember yesterday whenever I said that PayPal banned Steam. So you no longer use PayPal on Steam. So here we go. Here we go.
It's trying to do bank things.
If you've tried to buy a game on Steam recently, you might have seen this message.
Yep.
Valve has announced the removal of PayPal as a payment option in many countries.
Wow.
This is not a bug or a mistake.
It's not even just in the it's like everywhere. Holy.
It's part of a bigger problem. The biggest question is, why is this only happening in certain countries? Now, you might remember 1 month ago when we first talked about the collective shout, Steam adding a new
fucking Council of Karen pussies! Get out of here.
rule and the massive...
It's kind of sad that in this day and age, you don't have to worry about government censoring us. We got to worry about the corporations and these fucking retards that have too much time on their hands doing this.
Of games that it seemed like PayPal was involved.
Wow.
This is because right at that same time,
What happened?
it seemingly stopped working. It was unknown
What
if
the
this was
fuck?
some bug, a coincidence, or actually related to the situation.
Yeah,
now,
it's
when you
related
try
to
to
the
use
situation.
PayPal in an unavailable country, you get this official statement from Valve. Steam stated in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that the requiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the
Damn, even in the USD.
process of any transactions related to Steam. This is important because
Oh,
other than USD, okay.
what's the bank? What's the bank that did that? Uh-oh.
an acquiring bank is the bank that handles payments
Yep.
on a company's...
Boop. Boop. Okay, so yeah, who's the bank? Because they're saying that they did this because of the banking issue. So what's the bank?
Think of it as the bank that collects the money for Steam. They go on to say...
I don't think PayPal realizes that it's completely fucking useless and nobody uses it, right? They must know that nobody uses PayPal like that.
This affects currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, British pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and the United States dollar.
Yeah, so
This
they're
means
trying to exercise this soft power that they have in countries that aren't well regulated in order to try to put pressure on Steam to do what they want. That's what it seems like is happening.
Well, as long as Visa and MasterCard are still doing their thing, I mean...
that for every
Because
other...
you got to keep in mind that there is a new law in place as well. There's no longer debanking, so I really hope that they're not planning on doing stuff to Steam in the U.S. because with the debanking thing in place now, they're going to find themselves kind of in a hard place. Could be facing some fines and jail time.
in the world, PayPal is no longer a payment option to buy Steam games. They continue by saying...
That's fine. I don't understand why this would even matter. PayPal is a joke. Who uses PayPal to buy anything? I don't know anybody that's ever used PayPal. Like, oh no, I can't use PayPal to pay for Steam games. I've never done that. I don't know anybody who has. PayPal's... I don't even know how... I think I made an account a long time ago. I never used
We
it.
hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We're also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected
That's
by
what they
this.
aim to do.
In the meantime,
They could add Zelle. Zelle is linked directly to banks. In fact, my bank has Zelle built into the actual account. So that way I can just go onto the app for my bank and I can Zelle people directly from the app that's in my banking account. great.
please use one of our other current
All I got to
payment
do is put in a phone number.
methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account. This confirms that they are actively trying to fix a problem that they did not create. But this statement also leaves us with a massive question. If the problem is with Steam's content, why would the bank only care about certain currencies? Why is PayPal still working?
It's because they can only control those currencies. That's why they're not controlling the larger international currencies like CAD, USD, and euros. But they can exercise this in smaller countries that don't have the same level of legislation.
They don't have laws that protect them either. So I don't know anybody who actually uses PayPal to buy Steam games. I just don't understand why that would even be a thing.
That's why.
Perfectly fine in big markets like the US and the EU. One person on Reddit decided to call PayPal's customer service in Poland to get an answer. The lady insisted I contact Steam because they were the ones who pulled the plug because Steam prefers customers to use their balance. When the user read the official Steam message to
I actually think that Steam came out and straight up said that it wasn't us, it was them. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what happened.
She became irritated and hung up. Does this sound familiar? Because it should. This is
Visa and MasterCard do the same thing.
the same thing we saw with MasterCard and Visa.
These people need to get audited.
They do.
That's what they need
I
to do.
agree.
The government's got to come in and audit them and figure out like who's doing this.
Yep. I agree. Absolutely.
Big time. Yeah, just go through Discovery, subpoena all the data, all of the different call logs, all of
the
different...
FBI and the CIA could do this. Either one. And it hits the level of FBI because, like, this could be, like, a global issue. And if they have actual locations in the U.S., then if they subpoenaed these locations and got enough proof showing that they are actually doing this maliciously, they should start putting CEOs in jail and chairmen too. Anyone who is for this, they need to go to jail because this is ridiculous. Not only should they go to jail for censorship of like trying to censor a market, but they should go to jail and be fined for a monopoly or monopolistic behavior. I miss the days when we had monopoly laws that protected people, and now it seems like all that's just out the window.
Transactions, communication, and just figure this out. It would take like 5 seconds to figure this out.
It wouldn't even be hard.
Those companies put pressure on Steam, they then publicly denied it. So
Yeah,
Valve
they
had
did.
to be the one to tell the public the truth. It's clear that PayPal is now doing the same thing, blaming Steam to avoid talking about their own actions. When you put
What a
all the
surprise.
facts together, it shows a clear connection. This is a bigger plan.
You know,
to
if you
control-
put so many points on a graph, you know they're going to draw a straight line straight to Stupidville. So you got to
what
follow that
people
line,
can
man.
and can't buy online. For
That's
this
right.
Steam
Yeah, the banks are trying to create a monopoly on currency and a monopoly on trade in order to force certain viewpoints and ideologies into the mainstream that the public isn't accepting. And I think this goes beyond viewpoints and ideologies. It goes into culture. It goes into
I
value.
mean, look at what they were trying to do to Japan. They were trying to censor all the manga in Japan, and they actually succeeded. I still think that the Japanese government needs to step in and be like, if you don't want to do business here, then get the fuck out. Like, we already kind of sort of solved this problem. I'm sure they'll find a way around it, but you can no longer debank in America because of the thing that Trump had just put in.
And it goes into everything. That's what they're doing. They're doing that intentionally, and they're trying to push it. They've been doing this for a long time. And you should don't let them do it. No, there's no reason to let them do it. I mean, you should have laws that regulate this and prevent it from happening.
I agree.
And yeah, it's insane. Money's a great start to control. Yeah, if you can control the money, you can do that. How did all these ideal pushing fascists get into power? Because who do you think goes after power? People with ideals that want to push it.
Yep.
situation,
It's the
it
power
all began
paradox.
with an
I feel like a lot of it was the DEI and woke programs that were in the government that gave money for hiring diversely. That's how you got all these freaks in really high places. It's really sad to see how fucked up things can get in 4 years.
activist group asking payment companies to stop handling
Should have never
payments
done it.
for games with sexually explicit content. MasterCard and Visa were some of the first to act, which led to Steam's new rule. MasterCard denied doing this, but Valve's statement proved they were the ones responsible.
Yeah.
At that exact same time, the game store itch.io had its payment services
Well, and it's
with
also like I immediately believe Valve because they've
Well,
done this with
itch.io came out and said it first, and then Valve kind of was just like, yeah, he's right.
other people too. They've debanked multiple other groups of people. They've debanked organizations.
They have.
This is very common that they do this. And they've even, I think a Japanese person at Visa even said that they did it to protect their brand. So, I mean, they've said they did this. They've done it in the past. I mean, this is a pattern of behavior at this point.
It is.
Stripe removed.
But they have 6 months to get their shit together before the U.S. laws going into effect. So
Stripe's statement
this can only
was
last
clear,
for so long.
saying it couldn't support this kind of content because of its banking partners. This proves that these banks and payment companies are indeed the ones stopping the payments.
And again, like if you were the government, like and you could control this, you could figure this out instantly, right? Like you say, who isn't? Okay, well then they're the ones that are the problem.
Now we have the exact same thing happening with PayPal. A bank on PayPal's side has ended its agreement with Steam. The fact that all these events happened at the same time makes it impossible to think that this is just some wild coincidence. Now you might be wondering, why was PayPal only removed for some countries? They start by making changes.
It's because, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the new debanking policy that we have here. And I'm sure other countries are probably going to be pushing debanking policies as well, but they're starting with the smaller places to see how it goes, and then they're gonna step it up, just like what they did to Japan. They did the same thing to Japan, Visa and MasterCard, whenever they threatened to remove their ability, they threatened to take away their purchasing ability with Visa and MasterCards in Japan, and tried to censor censored an entire culture. So and then they started doing it here with Steam and Itch. Well, I mean, whenever they went after Steam and Itch, it was more of like a broad effect. It affected everybody in every country. So it's like, it's the start of another cascading effect is really what it is.
In smaller markets with fewer legal protections. This
That's
allows them to test their power and put pressure on companies without risking their biggest markets like the US and the
what's
EU.
crazy is this would get shut down so quick. If you call their bluff, it would get shut down so quick. Do you really think Visa and MasterCard want to risk actually debanking Steam? Do you know how much money they must generate that goes through Visa and MasterCard? A lot of fucking money. Same thing with Japan. You really want to cut off all of Japan? Come on. Really? They're not going to do that. It's intimidation. Call their bluff. They're bluffing.
This strategy is meant to force companies like Valve to agree to their demands everywhere without a major fight. The good news is that Valve is not giving up. Their statement that they're actively looking for new payment methods for affected customers is a big sign that they are.
I guarantee you, if Valve came up with its own payment provider for Steam, they would do it. People would actually do it. People would buy it. I guarantee you.
Fighting for gamers and will not be pushed around by these companies, although they sort of have to right now.
Well, so they're going to have to. They're going to have to work with them to an extent, right? Yeah. I mean, like it's an extent, but I think that these companies are doing it on purpose, and I think
obviously,
that, again, there needs to be a investigation, like an antitrust lawsuit about this, that puts all of these communications into discovery for the courts. I think that's what needs to happen.
They need to subpoena all this. They need to get any kind of records they can talking about this at the companies. 100%. Like, it needs to be like a class action lawsuit too. So that way all the countries that have been affected by this can get their money.
That's what hasn't happened yet, and it's a huge problem that it hasn't. If it does, I would be so happy. Because that's really
I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that these countries are going to start they're going to be forced to look into what's going on with Visa and MasterCard and PayPal, and then they're going to be forced to pass legislation that's like either fucking solve the problem or get the fuck out, and that's how it's going to get solved. That's really what's going to happen here. I don't think that they're going to try to sue these monopolies, because that's what they are. They're not going to try and sue these monopolies. I just think that they're going to have to pass legislation and laws that are going to prevent this from happening in the future. That's really what's going to happen.
PayPal ban is not a bug.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's the banks, card networks, payment processors, they all try to deny any of this is happening.
What a surprise.
Of course.
There is a clear history, not just with Steam, but for all kinds of reasons. It's getting so big that we have the Japanese government and even Donald Trump stepping in to stop this from happening.
Yeah, no, because it's huge. Like, even if you manage to coerce Visa and MasterCard to stop doing this and they bring everything back, the threat is still there. The only way you're going to get rid of this threat is if you pass bills and legislation and laws that are going to prevent this in the future. That's how you prevent this. It's just a Band-Aid until you get a law that's going to heal it and prevent it from happening again.